question is whether back-to-back minutes can be used for hanging or supporting one conduit from another conduit or pipe. The answer, based on the National Electrical Code and related standards, is no. Back-to-back minutes should not be used as the sole means of support. Here is why. Firstly, NEC Section 300.15 B2 addresses the support requirements for rigid metal conduit, or RMC, and intermediate metal conduit, or IMC. It states that RMC and IMC must be securely fastened in place on each side of structural members using approved straps, screws, bolts, or other approved means. These fasteners must be installed at intervals not exceeding 3 meters, which is approximately 10 feet, and they must securely hold the conduit in place without damaging it. This requirement applies to all conduit installations, including those where back-to-back minutes might be considered. Secondly, NEC Section 358.30 B covers the support requirements for electrical metallic tubing, or EMT. It stipulates that EMT must be securely fastened in place at intervals not exceeding 1.5 meters, which is approximately 5 feet, using straps, screws, bolts, or other approved means. This requirement also applies to all EMT installations, including situations where back-to-back minutes might be contemplated. Furthermore, NFPA 70E, the standard for electrical safety in the workplace, is relevant. Section 110.11 of NFPA 70E states that all electrical equipment must be installed and maintained in accordance with the requirements of the NEC. This means that any installation practice, including the use of conduit supports, must adhere to the NEC guidelines. The reasoning behind these restrictions is that back-to-back minutes are not designed or approved for use as a primary means of support for conduits. They are intended to serve as auxiliary support for conduits that are already securely fastened in place by approved methods. Using back-to-back minutes as the primary means of support for conduits would violate the NEC requirements for secure fastening. In summary, the NEC mandates secure fastening of conduits at specific intervals using approved methods. Back-to-back minutes do not meet the requirements for primary support and should only be used as auxiliary support in conjunction with approved fastening methods. Relying solely on back-to-back minutes for conduit support can lead to unsafe installations and code violations. To ensure compliance and safety, always use approved methods and hardware for supporting conduits, as specified in the NEC. These methods typically involve straps, screws, bolts, or other approved fasteners attached to structural members at the prescribed intervals. Consider different types of conduit supports available. Firstly, you could use one-hole straps. These are metal straps with a single hole for mounting to a support structure. They are suitable for securing individual conduits to walls, ceilings, or other surfaces. Secondly, two-hole straps are similar to one-hole straps but provide greater stability and support due to the two mounting holes. These are often preferred for heavier conduits or installations requiring extra security. Thirdly, you can use conduit clamps. These are adjustable clamps that wrap around the conduit and are secured to a support structure. They are versatile and can accommodate various conduit sizes. Fourthly, strut clamps can be attached to strut channels, providing a flexible and adjustable support system for conduits. Strut systems are commonly used in industrial and commercial applications. Fifthly, riser clamps are specifically designed to support vertical conduit runs. They provide a secure grip on the conduit and prevent it from slipping or moving. Sixthly, beam clamps are used to attach conduits to beams or girders. They offer a convenient and secure way to support conduits from overhead structures. Seventh, you could use conduit hangers. These are suspension devices that hang conduits from ceilings or other overhead structures. They typically consist of a rod or wire attached to a clamp or bracket that holds the conduit. 8. Cable trays can be used to support multiple conduits along a common pathway. Cable trays provide an organized and efficient way to manage conduit runs in industrial and commercial settings. Ninthly, conduit spacers are used to maintain consistent spacing between conduits. They help to prevent the conduits from rubbing against each other and ensure proper ventilation. 10th, expansion joints are installed in long conduit runs to accommodate thermal expansion and contraction. They prevent stress on the conduit system caused by temperature changes. When selecting conduit supports, it is essential to consider firstly the type and size of the conduit being supported. Different types of conduit, such as RMC, INC, and IMT, have different weight and support requirements. Secondly, the environmental conditions. In corrosive or harsh environments, it may be necessary to use corrosion-resistant supports or coatings. Thirdly, the applicable codes and standards. Always adhere to the NEC and other relevant codes when selecting and installing conduit supports. Fourthly, the load requirements. Ensure that the supports are capable of withstanding the weight of the conduit and any additional loads, such as cables or equipment. Fifth, the spacing requirements. Follow the NEC guidelines for maximum support spacing to prevent sagging or damage to the conduit. Sixth, the ease of installation. Choose supports that are easy to install and adjust, saving time and labor costs. Seventh, the long-term reliability. Select supports that are durable and resistant to wear and tear, ensuring a long service life. Eighth, the cost. Consider the cost of the supports in relation to their performance and benefits. Balance cost with quality and reliability. Remember that proper conduit support is essential for the safety and reliability of electrical systems. Always use approved supports and installation methods to ensure compliance with codes and standards. Never compromise on safety or quality when it comes to conduit support.